10 years from now, what I want people to remember me as is obviously everyone wants to be known as an exciting fighter. No one wants to be known as a boring guy who just, goes in there and puts on boring fights. Obviously, I want to be known to be more an exciting fighter, and I want to be known to be a devastating kickboxer that has a lot of power and gets a lot of knockouts.
What does it take to be a fighter?
To answer questions from my family who just don't understand.
What does it take?
To change the perception of who I was to the man I am today.
What does it take?
To never give up, even though I have every reason to.
What does it take?
To train every day, even though my body's screaming at me to quit.
What does it take?
To come back from an injury that the doctors told me would end my career.
So, what does it take to be an MMA fighter?
What do you think?
What got me involved in the sport was I was always a competitor at a young age. I always played hockey, lacrosse. I was always, trying to reach the top level. And basically, that kind of took a halt. I kind of stopped playing just because I didn't develop at an early age. So I was obviously the smaller kid and I just wasn't able to compete anymore. So then I got in the UFC, I started watching UFC, and I was really into it. And there's a gym in London, Ontario, which is about 45 minutes from my hometown. So I started going there, and the rest is history. So I've started training with Chris Hordexy for about 4 or 5 years. We basically just started off doing pads. And then basically got into sparring. I started sparring with the amateurs, and then I basically got good enough to start helping out the pros. And basically at the start of my career, I was just helping them out for their fights. And then now it's my turn to fight now and compete. I get a lot of motivation from my family. My grandparents, they came from Greece. And they were just dirt poor, and they just made something out of themselves, and when they were basically nothing. And my family, they're just, we're a really respected family, and they teach me so much, and they just want me to go in the right path in life. So they keep me on the right track. So I've got a huge support system. My parents weren't very thrilled with me at the beginning when I started fighting. They actually didn't know about my first 3 MMA fights, and they ended up going on social media, and that's how they found out. And then one time my dad actually got congratulated, and my dad's like, "What are you talking about?" to his buddy, and then his buddy goes, "Your son just won by knockout in his last MMA fight." And so they weren't really thrilled with me at the beginning, but now they're really proud of me, and they support me. And I've got a bunch of friends that are, they're really hyped up about this fight and my career. So it's just all motivation for me. My dad wasn't happy. He's a stern individual. He's a really good guy, and I basically just told him, I'm not going to stop. He tried to stop me so many times. Actually, when I started training with Chris, so basically in high school, I lived 45 minutes away in Stratford, Ontario, and I would tell them I'm going to Good Life Fitness or something just to get a quick workout in. and then going to Buddy's after. But in reality, I was driving to London, training with Chris, and then driving back home to Stratford, hoping they wouldn't know. So it's just, and it's funny that now they finally are okay with me fighting, so it's nice. They definitely don't watch my fights. They just want me to text them as soon as I'm done, because I come from a Greek family, and they're really protective. So what was in my way we're talking about was obviously my parents. They didn't like me doing it, but I'd come home with black eyes. There's one instance where I trained with Jesse Gross, helping him out for his title fight with, I believe it was Havoc. It was a Nova Scotia organization. I come back and my dad was just so livid. There was bruises all over my back from the cage, and I had a black eye, and he said, "You're done. I'm taking your cell phone away. You're not driving my car anymore. You're done." And he was a huge obstacle, but honestly now I don't have any obstacles. I definitely fight for myself and also my gym and Chris and my family. You know, I just want to make everyone proud, but definitely I started doing this to fight for myself. MMA has affected my life significantly, not just inside the gym or the cage, but outside. You know, I feel the confidence, I get respect from people, you know, and I just get a sense of fulfillment when I'm competing and after competing. You know, it feels rewarding, putting in so much hard work, putting in time, and then finally being able to say, you know what, yeah, I won a fight by knockout. There's no better feeling. If I didn't have MMA in my life, I'd definitely be lost. I honestly don't know what I would be doing, and I definitely know my grades wouldn't be any better, because, like I said, MMA really helps me it really disciplines me and helps me with my schoolwork, and it just, honestly, MMA keeps my life balanced. Yeah, like I said, I don't know honestly where I'd be. My goals are to become a professional fighter. I could definitely see that in the future, and we'll see how far that goes. My strategies for success are just basically staying in the gym, staying focused, staying disciplined, always learning, and basically always evolving. We've seen this sport evolve so much in the past few years, and if you're not evolving, then you're not winning. So I have to evolve. It's crucial, and that's a huge game plan of mine. Just to go to different gyms, and just to see different looks. You know, it's always nice to do that. I spend a lot of time at the gym training MMA, helping out the boys, getting better, but I'm also a student. I'm really busy with schoolwork, and obviously grades are very important, and my parents have been pushing me. They believe that school is #1, and I agree. It's a huge priority, and I think my fighting's really helped me focus on my school. Just because when I'm fighting, I'm a much more disciplined individual. Like I eat so well, I train so hard, and it just transfers over to my schoolwork, where I want it. Like, I'm driven 24/7, and it really helps me. Things I do for fun: I love to travel. I like hanging out with buddies. I like watching movies. You know, I just like being in social interactions. You know, I like obviously going to the bar and hanging out with buddies there. Like going to just any social event. You know, I like being out. I don't really like being by myself so much. When I'm out socially, it's not something I really bring up, being an MMA fighter. If they bring it up, then I'm all for talking about it. But I don't really like to talk about it in front of people. It's weird. It kind of makes me feel uncomfortable for some reason. Just because some people, they'll perceive you in a different way. Like, for instance, a lot of people aren't educated on the sport, and you know what? They don't know that it's something I do for an athletic sport. You know, some people just think you're there because you're a crazy person, right? So, but when someone brings it up, you know, I'm happy to talk about it, but other than that, I'm not really talking about it. I just don't think people have the right idea. And it's mostly, I'm not gonna lie, it's just they're stubborn. You know, they're not willing to learn about the sport, and they're not willing to go deep and really become aware of what fighters actually do. We put a lot of time and effort into our practice, and it's just not fair for someone to just, you know, not give you the time of day just because they aren't educated and they don't know about your sport. Fighting really means a lot to me. I just get a sense of fulfillment, pride, and I honestly don't know where I'd be without it today. I think my biggest strength as a fighter is my athleticism. I was a big hockey player and lacrosse player growing up, and I think that definitely benefits my movement and my overall athleticism and just the way I think as a fighter. Describe myself as a fighter, I'd say to watch, I'm fun. I like to stand up and kickbox. I'm creative. Kickboxing is my primary weapon. That's what I'm really into and I enjoy doing the most. So I like sharpening up my technique definitely for kickboxing. Obviously work a lot of MMA, but that's how I basically got started fighting, is just through kickboxing. So that's my main weapon. Definitely my room for growth would have to be my jiu-jitsu. You know, we've been working on it quite a bit lately, and I just want to show my jiu-jitsu coaches that it's been working. So this training camp has been somewhat typical. However, we've definitely changed some things up just because, you know, this is my 5th training camp, it's my 5th fight, and it's all learning experience. So we're always doing different things and trying different things out. So we obviously do most things similar to our past training camps, but we change things up. So my opponent, it's Alex Martinez. So what I know about him, I think he's a year younger than me. He's from Grand Prairie. He's 5'10". He's a Taekwondo guy. You know, he's a good fighter. I like the matchup though. He kind of sits back and, you know, waits, relies on his kicks a lot. So I don't think he's going to be looking to press me up against a cage, you know, do things like that. It's going to be a fun fight. I had known I was fighting ever since September because I had 2 fights booked. I had a kickboxing fight booked for October 21st, and I had a MMA fight scheduled for November 7th. So both I was training really hard for, and basically once we heard that I was fighting Alex Martinez, we just basically stepped it up a notch because it was a great opportunity. It's for a title. It's 5 rounds. It's not like we weren't training hard, but we just basically stepped up the intensity.
My name is Alexander Martinez. I'm a very confident fighter. I'm very confident on my skills. I'm very confident on what I bring to the table. I'm confident on my coach, on my training. I believe in them just like I believe in me. I believe in God. And when I get to the cage and before the cage, sometimes I do some research on my opponent to see what I'm up against. But most of the time I'm just focused on myself, which is overcome my skills and always keep becoming a better fighter against myself. If I can beat myself, I can beat anybody. I believe there is many stages in life. You know, everybody fights for a reason. You know, there is always that nature in humans to fight. We all fight. Like, we all love to fight. Some people fight in life. Some people, you know, there is just a nature in the human being to fight. You know, there is always a reason for somebody to fight. And the reason why I fight is because I feel free when I get in there. When I get in the cage, it's ultimate freedom. You know, it's a time where I have to pray a lot before fight, which gets me close to my religion, which is God, which it brings happiness and freedom to myself. And when I step in the cage and when I fight, I feel free. I feel free like a bird. and I love fighting. I just feel free when I get in there. And the reason why I fight is to show people that doesn't matter how much fear you have, even though if you have the courage to step in there, you can still achieve many things in life that you never thought you could have. And there's many reasons why I fight for. If I start naming all the reasons why, we might be here for a long time. So the main thing is I fight because I'm a fighter and I was born as a fighter, and I think it's in my blood and it's in my nature to be a fighter. Step into the cage with Theocharis, and I don't know much about him. All I know about him, he has 2 arms, 2 legs, and he comes from London, Ontario. His record is 4-0. He seems to be a striker, so I think it will be a great fun to strike with him.
Well, the title fights just keep coming. Our next title fight features Theocharis taking on Alex Martinez for the lightweight title.
Alex Martinez, a very tough fighter, and again, Theocharis has that knockout power, so this one could end in a hurry.
Coming down to the cage in this title fight, Theocharis out of Adrenaline Training Center in London, Ontario at 4-0, weighed in right at 155. 6'2", this 22-year-old is looking to improve on a perfect start to his MMA career.
Well, he's got 4 wins, and all 4 are by devastating knockout. Alex Martinez is an outstanding mixed martial artist. He has the ability to strike. His Taekwondo background is excellent, and his wrestling is getting better as he continues to work with his team at championship.
Theocharis will come out of the blue corner in the black and white trunks, the pure black trunks for Alex Martinez out of the red corner. They touch gloves and we're underway. Theocharis trying to land some kicks early, answered by Martinez.
Excellent movement from both of these fighters.
Yeah, Theocharis and big leg kick in. Martinez looked to answer with some strikes but was unable to land. Some nice movement here by Theocharis, Jeremy, trying to get Martinez up against the cage. Another spinning kick to the chest. Theocharis walks out with his hands out, and that is the end of round 1. Quick touch of gloves in the center of the cage. A lot of kicks from both fighters in the first round. Oh, and a big right comes from Martinez. He takes him to the ground. It's in there. Theocharis trying everything he can to keep it in, but there it is. The tap. Theocharis loses by armbar. Alex Martinez, your new champion.
And that was excellent jiu-jitsu from Alex Martinez. When he got to top position, he waited until Theocharis reached up to try and stop the punching. As he reached up, he saw the armbar opening. He took it, took the arm, took the championship.
I thought it was actually a really good matchup. He's obviously a bit better on the ground than me. But you know what, on the feet, we were trading, and we were both doing really well. He was really conditioned, I was conditioned. We were both ready for the fight. And it was a lot of fun, honestly. I had a lot of fun in there, but you know what, it's never fun losing. It's my first loss in martial arts, and it's not a fun time. I got to work on my ground game. That's a huge thing. You know, all my coaches, you know, they're always backing me up, helping me learn and stuff. And you know what, I kind of stray away from the ground because I just love kickboxing so much. And tonight I definitely learned that I need to focus a lot more on my ground game. I'm going to take a bit of time off, probably like 2 weeks, just get my mind off fighting. Once I get back in there, we're gonna do some groundwork.
I really don't have a plan for my fights. You know, I say I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but like always, fights changes. You know, your opponent does something else than what you were expecting. You know, so things change. I was expecting the same thing like I always do. You know, keeping my distance, slowly pick him off, but he was starting to pick me off, so I had to do something. So I started to just relax, you know, calm myself, and then I slowly got back in the rhythm, and I started slowly picking on him, you know, push the pace a little bit, kicking a little more, punching a little more, and then I got my right hand. So no, my plan, like I say, you know, It did not go according to the plan, but I knew that there was big chances that it wouldn't go according to the plan.
You know what? It was a crazy feeling, man. Like it was nuts. Like even though I lost, like it sucks. I still had so much fun in there, man. Like it was just fun being in there, just being a part of this event. I've been treated like a professional. I just had so much fun. If I got a rematch, I would definitely work on my ground. Everything felt fine in there. I felt really good. But obviously my ground isn't up to par the way it should be. Like I said, he's got 11 more fights than me. You know, it was an accomplishment just being in there with him, to be honest with you. Like I said, not many people would do that, and not many people would have taken that fight, but I'm a tough guy, and I'll take that again any day.
Tom is not an easy opponent, I can tell you. My legs hurts right now. Then he's a very confident fighter too, so a scary man, you know. He just won't let himself go down, so I think it was an excellent matchup. I felt in trouble all the time, you know. I did not just go and run over him. Tom, just keep on training, man. You know, you're a very tough guy, so keep on training, you know. You're 4-1, that's not bad anymore, you know. When I started, I was 0-1, and then I slowly started getting my victories. But yeah, just keep on training, but you know, you're still young, I'm still young. There's always a rematch that can happen in the future, you know, anything can happen. Keep on training.
Alex, you're a great fighter, I respect you tons. Good luck with your career. I'd rematch you any day. I just want to thank everyone for the support. Everyone's given me so much support for this fight, and I really appreciate it.